In this part of the course, we will implement our GenerateToken function. This function is going to be responsible for generating a new token when the login handler function is called. As soon as the login handler function is called, we will retrieve the user's credentials and we will pass those credentials to the GenerateToken function, and we'll use a user variable and JWT methods to generate the token. So the function that we will create is going to be called GenerateToken. Okay, and this function will take a user object as a parameter and will return a string. The string will be the token that we are going to generate, and an error if there is an error. Okay, and we want to create an error variable, and we also need to create a new variable called secret, and this variable will hold a string, and this string or the value is basically what we are going to need to sign our token. So earlier we discussed JWT has three parts: a header, a payload, and a secret. Secret is basically a string generated by signing the header and the payload together. So we can assign any string to this variable, but for our purposes it will just be the string secret. So now we can go ahead and implement the code that will generate the token for us. But first we need to invoke on the JWT object the method new with claims, and into new with claims we need to pass a couple of attributes of JWT. One is signing method HS256, which is the algorithm, and the second one is map claims, which is basically a struct value containing the claims that we want to use. And it will take email, okay, in this case user.email, and we will also have ISS or issuer. We'll name this course. Okay, if you actually come to this website, you'll find some really good information about JWTs. You can actually find out what kind of claims that you can pass. For instance, here we have registered claims. The claims here are not mandatory. For instance, you have issuer, and then you have subject, and you have audience. And below each subtitle, you'll find information on how to use or why to use these claims. So you can basically go through the document and look at the possible types of claims that you can use. But to make things simpler for this course, we're just going to use email and issuer as our claims. Therefore, the new with claims method returns an address to the token, and it has the header and claims and the method. All right, now let's go back. So let's assign this whole thing to token. If you do spew.dump and token, save this. Now go to your server, clear, do go run main.go. Okay, so there's a missing return. So for now, we need to make sure we are returning an empty string and nil. So now we need to invoke GenerateToken inside the login function. And we said earlier, GenerateToken would take a parameter, which is the user object. So we need to retrieve user, or we need to basically decode the request body and get the user values into our user variable. So we created a user variable, and here we are decoding the request body and basically mapping the values of the body to the fields inside the user struct. So now we'll be able to see the generated token on our terminal. So now when we do go run main.go, we're seeing an error, so we need to clean that up. So let's go back to our GenerateToken function, and we need to comment out error and secret. We're not using these variables, so that's why we were getting the error. Go back to your terminal and run the program and open Postman. Make a post request to login and make sure there's a value in the body and hit send. When you do send, so spew returns this. Okay, so it's returning this value, which is a token struct, right? So it has signature, it has valid, it has claims. See, the claims that we passed are email and issuer, and the header is JWT HS256, and the method is JWT.signing method HMAC. So we're gonna use this method to generate that string, okay, the string that we want to pass to our clients. Now in the generate token function, uncomment the commented variables and remove any unused code. Next, we need to assign a value to a variable called token string. So on the token that we just generated, invoke signed string, and into signed string you should pass a slice of bytes. In this case, we are converting the secret string into a slice of bytes, and the signed string returns two values, token string and error, and we check if there is an error, and if there is an error we log the error, otherwise we return token string and nil. So now we head back to our login handler function, and inside we invoked generate token, but we know generate token returns two values, token and error, and we want to see on our terminal what the generated token or the token string looks like. So we do format print line, but before that we need to make sure there is no error. If there's an error, we need to invoke fatal on log. Okay, so here clear everything and run your program, and on Postman hit send, make sure the endpoint is login, and here you see the generated token string.